Hello Aries, I'd like to welcome you to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This reading is for the week of April 16th through 22nd. If this is your first time here, I hope you'll pick up your tarot cards and read along with me. If you've been here before, I'd like to thank you for having me back. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and get started. First card today, the Universe or World card. That's a very interesting card to get right at the start of a reading. It makes me think that maybe you have a specific question on your mind, that maybe you're not here for a general reading, that there is something specific that you want to know. Okay. We'll see if we can get to the bottom of that. I think right now you're somebody who's really looking for your place in life. You know, you are perhaps feeling a little bit overwhelmed by just the vastness of space, right? By the vastness of the universe. And you're kind of looking for your opportunity, right? You're looking for where it is that you can take your life to really feel like you are born anew, that you are just growing into whatever role you're kind of meant for, you know? So I think it's kind of a question of cosmic proportions for you. It really is about the rest of your life, the meaning of your life, your, like I said, your place in life, you know. I think with this card that you're a very patient person, you know. I think it really takes a lot for you to get that anxious feeling, to start getting nervous, or to have any kind of dread about things. I feel like you're pretty easygoing. You try to go with the flow. You're very, like I said, very patient. You don't get upset easily, right? And I think that you have this question about your life and about your path, but it's not one where you feel an intense anxiety about it. It's something that you've probably been pondering and thinking about and contemplating for a while now. Okay. I think that you're a very hardworking person. I think you're probably very humble, if that's an appropriate word. I think that you don't like to really stand out. You don't like to be in the foreground of things, you know. You would rather be behind the scenes than in front of the camera. Okay. Well, let's see what's going on with you this week. Let's see if we can narrow down this question that you have, or maybe give you a little bit of clarity. We've got a Queen of Wands. I think this is also kind of representing you. Usually when we get a Queen of any suit, I'm thinking there's another person involved here. This could be another person. This could really be, honestly, if it's not a part of you, and we'll get to what some of those qualities might be. But with the Queen of Wands in this position especially, makes me think that maybe there is a maternal energy. Excuse me. Still got that residual COVID symptoms. We're all negative here, but it's just the residual still. I apologize. So, Queen of Wands, I feel like there may be a strong maternal energy around you, especially this week. Okay. Maybe it honestly is a situation where you're beginning to question if you are following in this person's footsteps, if you are becoming too much like this person, okay? Now, I say maternal energy. This is not gender specific. It could literally be anyone in your life that had that nurturing kind of motherly type of quality, okay? But I feel like most people probably do. You are questioning whether or not you're becoming too much like this parent, this maternal figure, right? Whoever this person is. And that could be for better or for worse. I don't know if that's something that you would be proud to become, or if you see your life turning in this direction and you think, okay, now it's time to evaluate my position, evaluate where I'm going, try to find out what the heck I'm really supposed to do. Okay. So I feel like there is this strong maternal energy around you. And I'm not quite sure yet what its influence is. Right? If it's a positive influence or a negative influence, I think it's probably some of both. Okay. Now, as far as your character goes, I think that you are beginning to feel that anxiety that I told you didn't feel, right? I don't think you typically get anxious about things. You're not typically one to have this kind of hurried energy about you. But with the coming of this card, I feel like maybe you feel it's kind of cutting it close to the wire. You know, it's getting close to that anxiety, right? You're beginning to maybe feel some of that. But we still have the watery element of this queen, right? It's the water of fire, the queen of the wands. So you're trying to rely on your instinct, your intuition. You're trying to be cool and calm inside, even while the surroundings in your environment is starting to heat up. You're starting to feel a little bit more anxious, a little bit more hurried about things, right? There's a little bit more haste than there was. So I feel, excuse me again, I feel like you're going through something that is prompting you, is maybe contributing to a little bit of this increase of anxiety. Because you're typically a pretty chill person. But this week, for some reason, maybe because there's something going on with this maternal figure, it's giving you a little bit of anxiety, and now you're starting to really have this question with this world or universe card, right? That question seems a little bit more, this card just jumped right out at me, Two of Cups. The question seems a little bit more pressing right now, okay? In the recent past, I'm going to go with this Two of Cups, okay? So I think you probably had a very good relationship with that maternal figure. It seems like there is or was, I don't know if this person is still on this plane or if they have ascended, but there was a lot of love in that relationship. I feel like it was as much as we can use the word, a healthy relationship with that maternal figure. A lot of love, a lot of support, a lot of affection, right? A lot of respect, too, and I feel like it was mutual. I feel like the two of you, not that you were best friends, but you were as close as a parent and child could be, right? And maybe that love energy manifested as a little bit of a lack of discipline, though I don't know for sure. That it could be. We'll see when we get some more cards out. Sometimes the Two of Cups is just a little bit too much of a good thing. It's too much love and support and not enough, discipline, or not. It's too many yeses, not enough no, don't do that, right? Could be. Let's look underneath everything. What is this whole situation resting on? Okay, Six of Wands. Six of Wands. So you do have, as part of your character, I think it really is part of who you are, you have a lot of respect and support that you are offering people in your life, right? You are someone who is really, I think you're very much concerned with social issues, right? I think you're the type of person that does not want to see anyone suffer, does not want to see any group or class of people being treated unfairly. With the Six of Wands, there's a lot of fairness involved, right? This is a lot of, you're trying to stand up for the underdog. You're trying to speak out against what is, perceived as an injustice. Now, whether this is just locally in your own life, in your own immediate family, or if this is something a little bit more your community, in the world at large, right? Something a little bit more global in scale. So I feel like you definitely have this capability of intense fire, and I think it's starting to come out a little bit, especially with this Queen of Wands. Some of this fiery energy is starting to bubble up a bit, right? With the Six of Wands being a foundational card, I think it's something that you probably have learned from this maternal figure how to stand up against injustice, against unfairness, against any kind of mistreatment or repression. I think you're very, very much an advocate, right? And you may not be actively involved in that work right now, but I think it's built into who you are, right? So the Two of Cups back here is telling me that this love, this care, this concern, this affection, this nurturing is not just between you and this maternal figure. I think that relationship taught you love and care and support for others, for the world at large, right? So I think that it's something locally with this maternal figure that now you are perhaps beginning to question how you can extend that out to the rest of the world or to your community, your country, your state, province, whatever. Your neighborhood. Let's see what you're trying to do with that energy. And there is the Four of Swords that fell out of the deck. So the Four of Swords up above everything, that's kind of what you're aspiring to. It seems to me like you're trying to put an end to injustice. I mean, maybe quite literally with the Four of Swords, it's like you want to resolve all of the ills of the world, or at the very least, all of the ills in your local group, local community, maybe just in your private life. So this is someone who, again, you don't want to be in the foreground. You don't want to stand out and be the mouthpiece. But there is this impulse for you to help others, to right the wrongs in the world, right? And so there's a little bit of conflict, of opposition here between those two, because you want to be in the background. You'd rather be behind the scenes than be the one out in front, leading the way, being the mouthpiece. So there's just, it's a question now of how you're going to push forward with some of these impulses and what area of life you can utilize these qualities. Is it something to just kind of keep in your community, do something locally? If it's something you want to be on a national stage, on a global, so behind the stage, I guess I should say. But the really strong focus of things is to put an end to conflict. Four of Swords. You're trying to put an end to conflict, right? I think that you are someone who is very cosmic minded, right? I think you're really able to see the wood for the trees, and I think you want there to be happy trees, So with the Universe or World card, this card, not only is it talking about how the universe is a vast place and we're trying to establish ourselves somewhere. This is also you having that cosmic perspective, right? Being able to see the kind of global implications of things and just to get a sense of the overall state of the universe beyond the individual relationships, right? And I really do think that this maternal figure was important in instilling these kinds of values in you. Let's see what the way forward is. This is becoming a rather interesting reading already. I apologize for my voice, my chest, my throat. It's been 3 weeks now. I'm still dealing with it. Immediate future. Okay, there's a court card. There's a Princess of Cups here. So I think that the way forward, and there's a Princess of Swords. We're going to do those two together. The Princess of Cups, first of all. This is you learning how to act on this compassion that you have. Okay. Now, we haven't used that word yet, compassion. It seems like this is kind of a compassionate energy that you have. But we didn't really see that. It seemed more like this was starting to kind of get angry almost. With the buildup of this fire energy and then right into the swords energy. it feels like you're starting to get a little frustrated with things. You're starting to feel this anxiety and almost this sense of, I have to act and I have to do something now. You know? Well, this Princess of Cups is you beginning to take the right steps forward in a compassionate way, right? It's the water energy that's starting to flow. So it's almost the water energy from this Two of Cups with the relationship with this maternal figure. You're now discovering, learning, beginning to learn how to express that into the larger community, the larger world, universe, you know. And these are baby steps. This is a little bit at a time. This is try different things, see if you can get your sea legs, right? You gotta crawl, you gotta walk before you can run. But it's about the expression of that water energy, almost the foundation, the root of all of this is this intense Two of Cups, this love energy, right? So it may be manifesting as a little bit of anger or anxiety or frustration, but it's all based on love. It's all based on love that you first experienced with that maternal figure. And now you are feeling it in a compassionate way for the rest of the world, right? So I wouldn't really be surprised if you have already done some work in this area. Community outreach, some kind of community service, community organization, something like that. Some kind of charitable work or something where you can almost actively show your compassion for other people, help other people, right? But now also along with this Princess of Cups, we get that Princess of Swords. So this is kind of a difficulty in aligning ourselves with this work that we're doing, or with the organizations we're getting involved in, or the paths that you are experimenting with. There's some kind of disharmony there. You're having a difficulty, like I said, aligning yourself with that path. So it may take several tries before you really find the path that works for you. Okay. It could be organizations have too much bureaucracy, too much politics involved. It could be that too much of their revenue is kept for operating costs, administrative costs, right? There's not enough actually reaching the people that you're trying to help. Whatever it may be, there is going to be some frustration with the structure, the administration of some of these places that you are testing out, right? Some of these areas. I don't know if it's going to be an organization. We still have a few more cards to get through. But whatever path you decide to test out, there's going to be some difficulty there. There are going to be some obstacles that you either have to get through and deal with, put up with, or just say, hey, this path isn't for me. I'm going to try something else, right? So I guess the question with the Princess of Swords is, are these difficulties, these frustrations, are they something that you can just kind of get over or work through? Or is it going to require you to choose a different path? Okay. So that's what I see as being the way forward. Okay, there's going to be some frustration, probably going to manifest as difficulty getting along or really aligning yourself, like I said, with the other people that are involved on this path, in these organizations, etc. Okay. And it's not that you'll have fundamental differences with these people or different missions, but I think that the way these organizations are put together, the way they're operated or administered, that's what you're going to have an issue with, right? Not the people themselves, but just the way that things are being run, okay? And I think there's a big difference there. So we're going to move over to the Path of the Serpent now, and I would like to encourage you to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Again, if you haven't done so already, please consider it. Okay, so now your general energy going forward, Tower energy. I think you're kind of in this mode. I'm getting I'm getting this feeling like you really are just getting more and more frustrated with the ways of the world, with the, I don't want to get too specific or get kicked off YouTube or anything, so I got to choose my words carefully. But I feel as if you are getting frustrated with the whole system, right? A lot of injustices in the world. I think everyone can admit that. I think it really is affecting you very deeply now, and you're looking at ways that you can really make significant changes, significant contributions. With this Tower energy, this is kind of all of your energy devoted to this, to really make definite positive changes. Okay? Now, I hear you now saying, wait, positive changes, it's the Tower card. Yeah, the Tower card. The Tower card is the tearing down of what is restricting our nature. Okay? What is imprisoning people's spirit and their souls, their will. Right? So you're looking to really free everyone. Now, this could be quite literally with, community outreach type of stuff, or it could be in a more spiritual way. It could be that you are really looking to work with people on their religious, spiritual, magical, mystical paths. Okay? So there is a spiritual component here because regardless of where we find ourselves physically, all of us at some moment, I feel, have felt like their souls are imprisoned, right? To feel like they are somehow being restricted from truly and freely expressing themselves. So this is the establishment of true and free expression. Right? It doesn't literally mean that we're tearing down the walls of some building. Okay? I'm not advocating any kind of destruction or property damage or vandalism or mayhem or nothing like that. Okay? This is a symbolic freeing of mind, body, soul. Okay? And I think this is really what you're feeling. I think that's what some of this frustration is leading towards, just wanting to, cut everybody's chains. I think it's in a more spiritual context than literally. And I think you can do that through any of these, again, community organizations. Maybe it's something with a church or a temple or a lodge, some kind of a neighborhood group, anything. There's so many possibilities. But I feel like your energy needs to find an outlet, needs to find a direction to take some of these energies. And I think that's why we started with this universe or world card. It is your love and your concern for the global community and your desire to free everyone from their bonds, from their chains, from their spiritual prisons. Right? These are the two major arcana cards that we have. The universe and the tower, the destruction of the tower. Right? So in some ways, yeah, you want to bring the whole damn system down. Right? But in a symbolic way. As a metaphor. But let's see what's going on in your environment. Let's see what's going on in your environment that might be contributing to some of these thoughts and feelings and impulses, or that might be something you can utilize to kind of help you narrow down this choice, right? Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. I think it really is you wanting to express this love that you were taught, that you experienced with this maternal figure, and pouring it out into the environment. I think that you have so much love to give, and you are so full of this energy that it is kind of boiling over now, right? We've got all this fire energy, and I think it's starting to just kind of boil in you. So we've got to like let it out. We've got to release it. Okay. So I think that this love, this compassion, this sense of joy and beauty, and this, I think it's a real love and appreciation for humankind, for life in general. I think that you have a very loving and supportive environment around you now. Perhaps this maternal figure is still around and still very supportive, very loving, very giving. Perhaps not. Perhaps they have ascended to a higher plane, and you are in some ways striving to live up to their example, their ideal, right? Continue their work, perhaps, even. That could be. But I think it really does come down to love. Wanting everyone to be free and happy and, free to express themselves, free to create. Right? Free to create themselves and to create their lives. Next card. More water energy. Beautiful water energy. We have a nice mixture of fire and water here today. We got fire, the tower, some fire. We've got some water here, water. A little bit of air to balance us out, sure. So the three of cups is, it's in the position of your fears and worries. So why would you be nervous or fearful of the Three of Cups, of this abundance of love and water? Well, it could be that as much as you want the world to change and you want to fix everything and you want everyone to be free to express themselves and create themselves, you want to accomplish this. At the same time, you don't want the work to ever be done. So there's this almost like this fear of completing the work, the fear of kind of reaching the finish line, the end celebration, everybody is free, it's the utopia, and then what? Right? And then what? So I see the Three of Cups as part of the original question with this Universal World card. Right? We're looking for an answer to our question. We're looking for a solution to our problem, but we don't really want an end to these things. We don't want a solution to the problem. A solution would be nice as long as it's still out there somewhere and we can work towards it. Because once you reach this celebration, once you reach this Three of Cups, this abundance, what else is there to do? You can enjoy the utopia that you've created, maybe the relative utopia. But that would get boring after a while, wouldn't it? Without something else to work toward, something else to fight for, something else to get behind, some other cause or some other ideal to support, some other soul to free, I'm not trying to get too religious or too mystical, I'm trying not to get too literal is the thing. Okay. So I think that's the only real problem here, is that we want to find a path, we want to find a solution and an answer to our questions, but at the same time we kind of don't. At the same time we're concerned what it's going to feel like when we cross that finish line. It's going to be fun for a moment, yeah, but then it's just like, time to go home, I guess. It's kind of, I think you like the fight more than you will like the celebration at the end. Okay. Final card on the path of the Serpent is that, the 5. You like the fight more, 5 of Wands. You like the fight more than you like the celebration at the end. So it could be that, you will reach this celebration. You will achieve your goals. You will have a resolution to this problem, an answer to your question. But then you will find another question. You will find another thing to fight for. You will find another cause, another charity, another community, whatever it may be, right? And I don't know if this is true, if this is literally like a community thing or a charity thing or an outreach thing. I don't know. But I do know that it's based on this flow of water, this love energy. And it is about the kind of the alternating between the fire and the water, right? The water is the cause, the fire is the effect, the action. And then there's water again. And then there's more fire again. And then there's the Three of Cups, the water, the celebration, you did it. And now here, let's do it again. Let's do it somewhere else. Let's find another cause. Let's find another problem that needs a solution. Another question that we need to answer. I think this is a lovely reading for you. Very, very excited about this. Well, Aries, I hope this resonated with you, and I thank you for letting me read for you today. I look forward to seeing you again next week. If you want to stick around for the extended reading, please click on the link that's right up here, and I'll see you on the other side.